What's up guys, welcome back to this channel. I am your host, Justin Colby, and on this channel we talk all things business, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And on this video, we're gonna talk about how we've already bought our first rehab of 2021 and what the numbers look like. Stay tuned. What's up everybody, welcome back to the Science of Flipping Justin Colby YouTube channel. If you have not yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you're liking these videos, smash the like button. Now, it is 2021, and as a moment in time, we are just above 3 weeks into January, and I've already bought and funded my first rehab flip. And I want to go over those numbers for you, and I want to take you through this entire process of buying it, how we got it. Also, I want to walk through the property on future videos to see the condition it is right now, and then I'm going to do an after video. So make sure you stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification button, as I'm going to walk you through this entire process of our very first flip of 2021. Now, with that said, let's go over how we actually got the deal. I get comments all the time, whether it be in my DMs or in Facebook groups, just simply saying, can you get in further detail about how you actually got the deal? And so I want to review the actual numbers for you and walk you through the entire transaction of how not only did we get the lead in 2021, but we also closed the transaction in less than 2 weeks, and how we did it all. And I'm very excited to show you what the end result will be. So first of all, how we got the lead is we used cold calling as our marketing channel to find this lead. We are doing thousands of cold calls every day. We're probably up to roughly 6,000 to 7,000 every single day between 2 different companies. Now, I've been able to scale my business after 13 years. So if you're a newbie, or maybe you're even doing this yourself, do not get overwhelmed by those numbers. You will get there. I know you will. In fact, if you need any help at all in real estate, just go to thescienceofflipping.com, and I'm happy to jump on a call with you to see if I can help you. With that said, we are doing roughly 6,000 to 7,000 calls each and every day in multiple markets. And so what we want to do is make sure our acquisition guys are fast to reaching out those leads. So once the callers drive the lead over to our CRM, which we use Podio, we want to make sure that they're on it immediately. So from the time that lead hit my acquisition specialist's desktop, as you will, in Podio, he called the seller. The situation was very typical, but right, we had a landlord who was tired of being a landlord. The tenant was kind of fussy. They didn't want to deal with it anymore, but the tenant really didn't have a place to move or what to do. So while we initially discussed what the seller would sell it for, we also simultaneously had to talk to the tenant. The landlord gave the tenant a heads up we would be calling, and to see if we could be a solution for the tenant. So what we did there is we actually had the seller make the introduction to the tenant. The tenant then was expecting our call, and then we worked with the tenant on what they needed to get out. Now, why that was so important is because the landlord wanted to sell now. They were literally over it. They wanted this done. They didn't want to deal with a single other thing. So we knew if we could provide value by helping the tenant get out, figuring out where they were going to go, helping them move, whatever it took, we were going to be able to get this deal done. Numbers were already kind of lofted out there by the seller side. Hey, if you can be around this price, I think we can get this done. We negotiated a little bit lower, and I'll tell you why and how we did that. But first, let's get back to the tenant. So once we got a hold of the tenant, we realized essentially all they really needed was help moving. They didn't really have much money to move if they were going to move to where they wanted to. They needed to have their money for like down payments, for the next place they were going to rent. So they needed help moving. Well, we, specifically my acquisition specialist, literally got a hold of the moving company. Not only did we get a hold of it, we scheduled it for them, we put them in contact with them, and ultimately we paid for the moving company. All of that, actually, the paying of the moving company came through escrow. okay? And so we were able to not only understand the tenant wanted to move, but they needed to move fast. They didn't have a whole lot of money. We provided value by simply saying, hey, not only will we get the moving company for you, we will also pay for it. That allowed the landlord to say, yes, I'm more than happy to talk about selling this property. We negotiated a price based around the value we were giving them, right? So the cold calling lead came in, the seller and my team talked prices high level. From there, the seller contacted the tenant, put us in alignment with the tenant. We created value for the tenant to be able to move out, made the seller extremely happy, and we were able to negotiate a better price on the property because we provided the value. Now, from there, within 48 hours, all this transpired. We had the contract signed by the seller. My acquisition specialist, this is a deal here in Phoenix, my acquisition specialist actually had to go and meet with the seller because the seller had a friend who was a realtor. So then we had a realtor involved. Now the realtor didn't play a big role in the sense they didn't want a commission, they didn't need to be involved, they just really wanted to review the offer, which is great. So then we befriended the realtor. We sent the DocuSign. So all we had to do was meet with the seller, meet with the realtor. We had to get a DocuSign over to the realtor reviewed, and then they forwarded it on to the seller. Again, the realtor did not want to be a part of the transaction. The realtor was just looking after the friend. The numbers worked. We got a number that worked for us, including the cost of actually paying for the moving company. The seller got a number that worked for them. And the reason why it all worked is because we provided the value of them trying to get this done. Now remember, this lead came into our database in the first week of January. It is officially January 25th as I record this video, and we actually closed January 22nd, which was last Friday. So we got this lead, I believe it was like the 5th or 6th of January. We did all that negotiating, all that corralling of the tenant, helping the tenant move. The tenant vacated last week on Wednesday. We were able to walk the property, and all of that happened within 2 weeks. We were actually able to close last Friday. Now, the reason why this was so valuable is because we know at the number that we got the property at and that the seller was extremely happy that we really created a value around it, we knew we had options. And if you've watched any of my other training videos here on YouTube, by the way, if you're liking this right now, smash the like button. Absolutely smash the like button and make sure you're subscribing. So if you've watched any of my other videos on YouTube, you understand that as long as we provide the value to the seller, we have a better bargaining chip. So now we knew we were gonna buy the property. It was at a price where we knew we were gonna buy it. Now comes what type of exit strategy? Do we wholesale it? Do we rehab it? Or do we keep it as a rental portfolio? Because at that price, it was also a good rental. So I always allow my team to have a voice on that. They said it'd be a great flip. So we are actually gonna rehab flip this property instead of wholesale it, which we could have done, and or keep it in a portfolio. And so ultimately it was done through cold calling. It was done, all of this was done within 2 weeks. The offer was on the table of the seller within 48 hours. And we were able to find private money to fund not just the purchase, but also the rehab. I'm going into this rehab flip with 0 of my own dollars. That's how you flip a deal. You make sure you're bringing leads in, you make sure you make offers quick, you make sure you align your values with their values, and you make sure that you bring in money that you don't have to bring any of your own in, and then that allows you to scale. So ultimately, guys, this is really about understanding the value of marketing and sales and conversion. And if you know that, you are gonna absolutely crush it in this space. I call it 2 different pillars. I have great, cute names for these things. I call it the marketing control, understanding your marketing control, and then simply traffic and conversion. If you understand those, you're gonna win in a big way. Now, we are gonna do a video. The next video you guys see is going to be the actual property. I'm gonna walk through it today. We're gonna walk through it with my contractor. I'm gonna have my manager, Anthony, who will be there. He manages my entire company. We are gonna do a video of the property, take a look at the before, I wanna also have another video for you guys with my actual contractor, why I use him, what's the benefit of him, what you should look for when working with contractors, etc. So make sure every day to be checking out my YouTube video. I'm doing a YouTube every single day about this deal, and then you got to give me another 30 days or so to actually get the rehab done and finished. Again, I hope this helped you. Make sure you like this. Make sure every single day you are checking out my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one, walking through this property. Peace.